Hey guys, KinoFlex here. Today I'm going to take a break from reviews to address a very serious controversy going on involving the booktuber Daniel Greene and try to briefly break down what happened to those out of the loop. Last week, a woman by the name of Naomi King released a video accusing Daniel Greene of sexually assaulting her behind his fiance's back. She cried on camera, claiming he violated her and how she kept this under wraps for nearly 2 years and had proof of his wrongdoing. Simply saying she had proof she was sexually assaulted was apparently good enough for the general booktuber community because everyone in that community believed her and instantly cut ties with Daniel Greene. This is years worth of professional relationships and supposed friendships ended over the word of someone who is a complete stranger who none of them had even met or talked to before. In response, Daniel released a very straightforward and short video that was clearly just him reading out a statement his lawyer prepared for him. A lot of people disliked this response because it wasn't in your typical YouTube drama format, but in hindsight, this was the right move. The worst thing you could do in a situation like this is make light of the situation or melt down. If a mob is out for blood, they're going to disregard anything you have to say anyway, and a short, quick response like this is really all that needs to be said in the face of false allegations. Your main priority should be to build a legal case first before anything else. That being said, people again dogpiled on Daniel for getting a lawyer, despite that being completely normal because his entire livelihood and reputation were being attacked. In response, Naomi King then uploaded another video further detailing her relationship with him, where it's made clear that they were just consensually messing around and she's bitter that he chose to go back to his actual fiancée rather than choose her to have a relationship with. She completely nuked her own case against him, with everyone realizing she's lying, leaving most of the people who backstabbed Daniel into awkwardly retracting all of their statements and apologizing. And just so we're clear, none of these people actually regret what they did to Daniel. They are simply making these videos out of self-preservation for their online careers. If another situation like this arises again, you can guarantee they will react the same way they did in this situation by finding ways to take advantage of it and propping themselves up instead of being responsible and simply waiting until enough information is available to make an accurate assessment. Some people haven't even taken down their videos and apologized after bashing Daniel. They simply changed the thumbnail and thought that nobody would notice. These people are complete bottom feeders. What's currently happening now is that people are deservedly dogpiling on Naomi for pretending that she never said that she accused Daniel of sexual assault. It's now clear that he did no such thing. She was just extremely bitter that he didn't settle down with her despite the affair. Some people might say that she deserves some sympathy for being left in the cold by Daniel, but she knew full well that what she was doing was wrong. The way these affairs are cultivated are by the forever delayed promise that the one in the relationship will eventually leave their main partner for the person in the affair, which typically never happens. The entire appeal of cheating and having affairs stems from the thrill of both people engaging in something they know they shouldn't be doing. Even if they decide to enter a relationship, the odds of that relationship lasting tend to be low because they are predisposed to the other being willing to sleep around, which naturally results in there being trust issues. And as the relationship continues, both start to realize that it doesn't live up to the fantasy they had in their heads. Most relationships born from affairs just do not work out in the long term, which is why it's just better to break up with someone if you feel that the relationship isn't working instead of starting a whole new one in secret. Daniel seems to have realized this, which is why he ended the relationship and reconciled with his fiancée. Is what Daniel did okay? No. But considering he realized what he was doing was wrong, I think that's worth something. If his fiancée finds his attempts to make amends to be genuine and forgives him, then I don't see what right people have to be mad at Daniel enough to wish that he no longer has a career, especially considering such a move would negatively impact the fiancé even further. Regardless, Naomi should not be seen as any sort of victim. She knew full well that Daniel was in a relationship and that being with him would hurt his fiancée, yet continued the relationship all the same. Her decision to make the affair public knowledge only serves to hurt the fiancé even more simply because she didn't get what she wanted. And that's a very selfish thing to do. She had every opportunity to end the relationship she had with Daniel on her own and find a fulfilling relationship with another man, which she refused to do. And unless she gets out of whatever victim complex she has for herself, she's only going to find herself spiraling more into making stupid mistakes in the future. Now, a lot of people might find that this is a happy ending for Daniel, but unfortunately, that's not necessarily the case. Because even if it's proven to be a false allegation, that can still have massive professional repercussions as it can still deny Daniel opportunities from those refusing to learn the proper context of the situation. A good takeaway from this whole ordeal is understanding that cancel culture is a real thing. Yes, there are genuinely bad people in the world whose actions need to be called out so they can face justice, but that's called accountability, not cancel culture. Cancel culture is when someone is gone after falsely or unreasonably out of prejudice or selective bias in an attempt to hurt them. Cancel culture is when someone is gone after falsely or unreasonably out of prejudice or selective bias in an attempt to hurt them. It all boils down to a mixture of closed-mindedness and narcissism, where people don't engage with someone they wouldn't want to associate with under normal circumstances, or acknowledge that sometimes things aren't always as straightforward or simple as we seem to think they are. It's what defines a mob mentality, and it's ugly no matter what form it takes in attempts to not address nuance in a given situation. And yes, you will have people lying by saying that they are the actual victims, which is why it's all the more important to understand the facts first before deeming an ongoing situation to be settled. But people will take advantage of other people's good nature in order to misconstrue a situation so they can personally benefit from it. And that's sadly something we need to keep in mind when allegations like this come out of the blue. The only reason Daniel's livelihood is still intact is because the person lying about him was an idiot who got caught in a lie when she made his second video. If she hadn't made that video and just stayed quiet, the burden on Daniel to disprove the allegations would take a lot more work and potentially be unsalvageable. And some of you might shrug your shoulders and not care because you may find him to be a weirdo, but put yourself in his shoes and ask yourself if being the victim of false allegations is at all fair and not something worth preventing. But that's just my read on the ongoing situation. And if you have your own thoughts on it, then let me know in the comments, and if you like what I do, then consider giving this video a like and subscribing. Thank you.